The week has never been slower. The days between Wednesday and Sunday felt like forever. One Saturday late afternoon, you texted, "Evening. Hope you're well. See you tomorrow." I was in a different realm at that point. You were texting me first about our meetup. My heart was beating funny, and there was a moment where I did a happy dance, which I hope no one will be so unlucky enough to see. I couldn't stop smiling. Finally, sunrise. It's Sunday, December 17th. I said my morning prayers, stretched my arm and shoulder, then had breakfast, anticipating meeting the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. I kept mentioning your face, your smile, your laugh. I was lost in imagination most of my morning, but today, all that was to be reality. I had a family thing happening, so I went to show my face, then soon bribed my nephew into driving me to the mall, since I only had one arm and it was a pretty long drive. Our appointment was at 2 p.m. I was at Starbucks at 1:50 p.m., sitting and watching the door. After 15 minutes, I felt like I was going crazy and a whole lot nervous. I moved to a seat that looked away from the door. My nephew left to see his girlfriend, and about 2:30 p.m., you still went there. At this point, I was pretty sure I was being stood up. My friend saw me online on our WhatsApp group and immediately reprimanded me for texting mid-date. I responded, "She's still not here." They immediately group called me. It's 2:57 p.m. I'm thinking, call my nephew, order a coffee, and take the L with your head held high. At this point, my friends felt so sorry for me. They had listened to me go on about you for months, potentially years. They knew how crazy I was about you. It was so bad, they couldn't even make fun of me anymore. I turned my head, and there you were. 1 hour, 5 minutes late. And yet, somehow, I even forgot I was a little upset about that. You looked better than an angel. I don't remember telling my friends goodbye. You know how in movies everything freezes and suddenly it's just you and her? Well, that was me. And finally you got to my seat. With outstretched arms and a warm smile, you wrapped your arms around my neck, pulled me close, and held me tight. It was as if you wanted to touch me as much as I needed to touch you. I was in absolute bliss, almost high, but still aware of everything. Your perfume filled our space. You felt like home. You were real. You were here, with me. The hug, short yet long, eventually broke apart. You noticed my arm and asked what happened. I just said, "It's not as bad as it looks." Truth, I was in incredible pain. But at that moment, I didn't feel anything. We sat down, I looked at you, and smiles kept escaping. "You don't look like your photos," I said. "You look far better." "Oh, I thought you were disappointed," you said. "Not even close." You looked a little tired, your small eyes red from exhaustion. You told me about your long work week, about being responsible for trainees, but it drained extra energy. I had to keep reminding myself to focus on your words, not to miss anything, but that was hard enough. I offered to get you a beverage, walked to the counter, and that's where my pride almost got crushed. I had left my cards in the car and didn't know it, but I had cash, more than enough. When I handed it over, the barrister said, "Oh, I'm sorry, we do not take cash here." "Okay," I said, and bothered reaching for my wallet, only to realize it wasn't there. Oh God. For a second, I wanted the earth to open up and bury me. But you noticed instantly, without hesitation. You pulled out your phone and paid. Just like that, no questions, no hesitation. At that moment, I was both embarrassed and impressed. Most girls wouldn't be that proactive. Also, as a side note, the first thing that I did when I got home was load all my bank cards into my phone. Lesson well learned. I took the cash and tried to give it to you, but you refused. "It's a matter of pride," I insisted. You laughed and said, "No." Because you were standing so close, while you were returning your phone to your bag, I slipped the money into your pants pocket, moved Otto closer to your ear and whispered, "That's the end of it. Please, let me win." They laughed all the way back to our seats. The next 2 hours flew by in what felt like 10 minutes. We talked about everything. Life at university, challenges with friends, interests. I didn't ask about the scar on your arm. It felt like we had always known each other, yet it was also just the beginning. Then my phone rang, formally calling. I had to go back. You were exhausted, looked like you were coming down with something, so we had to part ways. One more hug, 3 seconds longer than the first, and a little tighter. I washed you up out. I walked to the parking lot where my nephew was blowing up my phone. And when I got to the car, he looked at me and said, "You're blowing." I'm usually quick with comebacks, but my brain was still on pause. I just said, "Man, shut up and drive." Seconds later into the drive, oh no! I didn't sit and have a date, the actual official date. But I have your number, so we'll talk, right? When I got to the family event, I was restless, agitated actually. I just wanted to go back to my apartment and text you. By the time I got home, it was just after 10 p.m. You were probably asleep. So I sent a simple text. "I hope you got home safely. Thank you for coming to see me. Let's not wait too long to hang out again." Sent. Oh, come on now, what's wrong with me? I still didn't set an actual date. The next morning, I woke up expecting a text. Nothing. I told myself, wait another day, don't be too pushy. The meetup went well. She texts back. But you didn't. Then suddenly, work called. An emergency in another province needed my immediate intervention. Flights were already booked. I packed in such a hurry that I only realized mid-boarding that I left my laptop and phone on the kitchen counter. Oh man, 5 weeks I'd be gone. 5 weeks. No way to talk to you. No Instagram, and I don't know your number by heart. I was completely cut off. Just like that, after finally meeting you, something completely out of my control pulled us apart again. All I had left was your perfume, still strong on the shirt I wore that day, and the question, What if? What if this was my last chance?